Today is Friday, October the 13th. This is a meeting of the Darien, special meeting, of the Darien Board of Education Policy Committee. Next meeting will be held on November the 10th. This morning's agenda, we're going to review some new policies in the 4000 series as part of our regular progression through each series for looking for what needs to be updated for legal language or repealed or other suggestions coming from our attorney Shipman and Goodwin. We have policy today 4125, evaluation, termination, and non-renewal of athletic coaches. 4150, administrative regulations regarding blood-borne pathogens. 4175, prohibition on recommendations for psychotropic drugs. 4300, employee use of the district's computer system and electronic communications. 4325, hiring of certified staff. And 4350, hiring of non-certified staff. I will hand it over to Marge to brief us on each.
Okay. Policy 4125 involving the athletic coaches. The definition of the athletic director is included. That's who supervises the athletic coaches there. So other than that, just the legal references. Administrative 4150, bloodborne pathogens. You know, when you let lawyers tinker with things, they moved everything around, and there are no real major revisions to this policy, but we did want to replace it so it would be clear to everyone. Recommendation of psychotropic drugs, the same thing. Legal references and stylistic changes. The employee use of the district's computer system policy 4300. These are major revisions to better update, the policy to reflect what's actually going on in the cyber universe. So the hiring of certified staff, this should actually be revised instead of replaced. This just better reflects the actual practice. We had some lofty goals when we introduced this policy in 2015. For example, having teachers review in AppleTrack, our application system, it never worked out. Teachers were not interested in that kind of involvement. Parents being involved in teacher interviews was also problematic. There's just things that educators need to be on top of. So we also made it clear that the superintendent hires everyone under the administrative level. So all teachers and non-certified staff, since we have now revised the personnel action report to be a personnel report. So that's the extent of the revisions. Although we did add for cabinet level positions that the process will be determined by the superintendent in consultation with the board chair. That's what happened with the hiring recently of the assistant superintendent for curriculum, and it seemed to work well. And the hiring of non-certified staff, again, it just clears up some problematic language about affirmative action, which I think is unconstitutional now, but we will be bringing to you a minority recruitment policy. That's in both certified and non-certified staff policies.
Thank you, Marge. Alan, do you have anything to add here?
No.
Okay. I don't have anything to add either. So anyone else on the board?
I just have a question or two.
Please.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. On 4125, evaluation, termination, and non-renewal of athletic coaches, I'm fine with the revision. I just had a question if there are policies that govern our volunteer or assistant coaches, because I think this carves out that it does not cover those.
Right. So no, we don't have a policy.
Okay.
This policy does cover assistant coaches,
Okay.
or at least we treat them the same way. And volunteer coaches, we haven't had.
I was just curious. Okay. And then on 4300, Marge, I noticed that was one kind of as we talked about at our meeting the other night where it was approved in February, but it was put into action, so to speak, at the start of the year in July. Is that what we would be talking about for some of these policies, assuming that we're going to have them approved prior to July?
Right. So the 4300 policy really, I think I leave it up to you. The revisions more accurately reflect, computer usage. It doesn't change the practice as much as just the definitions. But to be fair to everyone, we could just make everything effective July 1st.
Okay. I just noticed that, so I was curious. Okay, and I think that was everything I had. Thanks.
Sarah?
We just need to.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, go ahead, please, Al.
Just while you're on that one, I just need to, what page is it? The page, let me see. I'm looking at the 4,300 one. I just wanted to,
So 27 of the PDF.
only because it leaves it open as an option here. So since there's no comment on it, I just want to know what way to go. It is, it's highlighted. It's the part about the social networking part. The
It's on page 51 of our packet.
Does it say 51 there in your packet? Oh, yes, 51. That's right. Thank you. So the top of the page there gives you one bullet, and then it says if you don't have the social network policy, we would use what they said there.
That makes sense to me. And if we were to adopt a new social media policy, an external social media policy, would we have to go back and revise this one?
We'll just,
Or just leave it?
council.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm assuming that we'll just go with
Yeah.
it.
Right.
That's fine. And then I just wanted to reiterate what Marge said, if you don't mind, the hiring process. I appreciate the board. We've worked through some things. Administrative, I'm happy of in terms of the way things have worked. I think the board also has been very helpful where we need to move things forward on a different schedule just because things come up, like and processes come up. So I appreciate the board's availability and the resolution to some of those. And then clearly the administrative staff and the cabinet, we had a process that worked well this year. So that really just reflects that. And Marge has cleaned it up a wee bit just to reflect what actually happens in practice, particularly when we're hiring teachers and we're interviewing administrators and so on and so forth. So anyway, just for context.
So who is doing the interviewing and the reviews? You said the teachers aren't doing that. So who's actually doing that? Is that all you? It's not all you, is it, Marge?
No, although I do assist because sometimes it can be overwhelming, but it's at the elementary level, it's the principal. At the secondary level, the department chairs are reviewing because they're looking for content, knowledge and whatever, but then the principals are always involved. In the interviews, we always have teachers involved.
All right, so it's the screening process.
It's
Where,
just a screen.
got it.
And then you're also taking out the parent participate piece of this, yes?
Yeah. That,
Okay. I mean, I sat in these interviews as one of those parents, and it was awkward because we didn't get to see the demo lesson, so you couldn't have a picture of the teacher.
You
So
have an educational
I
background.
do,
It was
yes. It was,
harder for parents who didn't.
yes. So I'm in favor. I understand the challenges that come with that.
Sarah, do you have anything else on this? Okay. Good. All right. So it seems the consensus is there's no issues with these as drafted. Thoughts on moving these forward to the full board?
Let's do it.
Yes, I'd say let's move it forward, but let's check about that social media piece, because I do think we are going to look at an external social media policy. So we'll just want to make sure we know how to zig or zag based on where that goes.
So I think the thought, Marge, is if we do something else, we'll come back and reconcile. Or-
Yes, but I'll make sure.
Okay.
I'm just going to answer before we bring it to the board.
All right. So we seem to have consensus here to move this forward to the full board. So we'll go ahead and make that recommendation. Being these the only matters on the agenda, I think we're in good shape for today. Unless anyone else has anything else. So we'll turn it over to public comment, please.
Good morning. Anyone in person would like to participate? There are no raised hands.
Anybody on Zoom? All right.
Can I just,
Alan, please.
only because we do have at least one person in the audience who's a parent. The interview process for the administration, just to be clear, right, that there is a provision that doesn't preclude a parent from being on that. If it's appropriate for someone, we will have someone on. I just want to note that, that's all.
Okay. All right. Then in that case, we're going to go ahead and conclude.